season is underway on CBS. The Ravens and the Bengals. And for Baltimore, what time is it?
Game time! Game time!
That's what time it is. Hey, who let the Ravens out? Who? Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. Tremaine Mack awaits the kick from Matt Stover as the Bengals get set to have it first. Brian Billick, the head coach in his second year with Baltimore, the guru for Denny Green at Minnesota, 13-12 in his career as a head coach. And Dick LeBeau, 63 years young, 2-3 as a head football coach, longtime defensive coordinator, both here in Cincinnati as well as in Pittsburgh, where he authored some outstanding teams that included the likes of Rod Woodson and Carnell Lake. Stover prepares to boot it. Cincinnati won the toss, elected to receive, and there's Tremaine Mack, averaging 23 yards per return, and he takes it in at the 4. He has an opening. Look out! Stover trips him up at the 47-yard line, saving the touchdown. Matt Stover, a 50-yard return for Mack. Achilles Smith, the starting quarterback for Cincinnati, who was knocked out by Rob Burnett in the last meeting with Baltimore, had a concussion. His numbers are poor. He's very aware of it. The worst-rated quarterback in the NFL, and he touched on that in our meetings on Friday. He made no bones about it, and in fact, off the 2 victories, he feels good about the W's, now believes it's his turn to make a solid contribution.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of supporting cast, particularly on the defensive ball, giving him some encouragement. They know he's struggling right now, but he's in their hip pocket.
Here comes Woodson on the blitz, and he knocks it away as Achilles Smith is incomplete on his first forward pass. The rest of that, they'll go with a 2 tight end look most of the day, Battaglia and McGee. Warwick has had a number of drop passes. Dillon, obviously, the go-to guy in this offense. Out of the I set, 2nd and 10. Dillon burrows ahead for a couple of yards to about the 44-yard line. Number 1 rated defense against the rush, the Baltimore Ravens. Burnett, we touched on him. McCrary, the outstanding sacker, is down statistically in that area. Siragusa is back. Sam Adams, a quality acquisition. Lewis still the leader of the defense. Boulware and Sharper, outstanding speed at the outside backers. Woodson, the 14-year veteran, bringing along the stars of the future like Chris McAllister. All rookie honors a year ago in the NFL. 3rd and 7. Markers down prior to the snap. Our referee today, Walt Coleman, will bring us up to speed on all that takes place today.
Prior to the snap, false start, 60, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
That'll go against Rod Jones, 7th round pick out of Kansas in '96, backs them up to the 48-yard line. This is the kind of down and distance situation that they want. Baltimore, they're going to feed off of 3rd and long today from Cincinnati.
No question about it. I spoke with Rex Ryan, the defensive line coach for the Ravens. He said collectively this is probably the best supporting cast he's had as a total unit, Timmy.
Out of the shotgun. Smith goes underneath to Brandon Bennett, who's been logging more playing time. Stopped at the 43-yard line by Ray Lewis. So Cincinnati gets quality field position and does nothing with it off the kickoff return by Tremaine Mack. And it's punt time for Daniel Pope.
And this is one of the things Achilles said he wanted to stay away from yesterday, those 3rd and 4th and long situations. It really puts him in a bind. If they run the ball on 1st and 2nd down without getting closer, that puts him in a more predictable situation from the defense. Not the place to be with this Raven bunch.
Jermaine Lewis awaits the punt inside his 10-yard line. He'll let it go. And he gets a great hop. Sort of like a 9-iron, and Pope has done that a number of times recently. In his last 20 kicks, he's kept it inside the coffin corner 11 times. 37-yard boot and very effective for Pope. Artrell Hawkins was down there to down it. You see Trent Dilfer making his way out. Signed a 1-year contract, primarily as a backup, as a free agent for $1 million. Had the 5-year stint in Tampa Bay. Understands that this is the first real explosive offense he's ever had an opportunity to engineer, and looks forward to the opportunity. first down from the 6. Pass is tipped into the air and incomplete. Tom Carter was there covering Pat Johnson. Chris Carter had an Ian Badejo, who scored that last touchdown for Baltimore on September 24th, unavailable due to a toe injury. Blitz is coming, and they come up the middle. Jamal Lewis, former Tennessee star, is stopped by Takeo Spikes. Boy, he is a human missile, that guy. He is some fast. Part of that outstanding linebacking course. You look up front, John Copeland, who had some words for Baltimore running it up 5 weeks ago, said there's no place in the league for that. Steve Foley, an outstanding linebacker. Spearman has come on strong, the rookie, and Takeo Spikes, clearly the verbal leader of the defense. Carter, Williams, Heath, and Chris Carter, who's come on strong since Dick LeBeau took over as head coach, is now starting in place of Corey Hall at strong safety. 3rd and 8. Slant pattern complete for a first down to Pat Johnson. Patrick Johnson stopped just shy of the 20-yard line.
And Timmy, that's the type of play for Trent Dilfer that's going to give him the confidence that he needs in this offense. It's critical because you need these high percentage pass routes to build the confidence of the quarterback. He hasn't played in this type of Brian Billick wide open attack. I mean, Billick brings something that he's never seen before. So these little pivot routes, 7-8 yard slants, high percentage passes is going to help this quarterback out.
Off the 11-yard gain, first down and 10. Lewis on misdirection move. Look at him go. Strength and power, but what a lot of people forget with regard to Jamal Lewis is the outright speed. 16 yards on that carry.
And the thing about this guy, he's got tremendous vision. Watch him take it front side, then come underneath. See colored flashes in front of his face. Step toe, tippy toes right in. Nice big guy body, little guy feet, making guys miss him. Tremendous effort there by Jamal Lewis. And look at the blocking he's getting up front here. Man on hat. You got him overpowered. There's no way a running back can see that type of opportunity and not take advantage of it.
Up front. Carry ahead for a couple of yards by Lewis. Stopped by Takeo Spikes. Chris Carter also the second to get there. Jamal Lewis. Size and strength, was injured late in his career at Tennessee. This is a guy that at 93 yards last week, and I know a player that you'd like to see carry it a bit more in Brian Billick's offense.
Yeah, I was talking to Milt Jackson, the receivers coach, and I said, Milt, you know, I know you want your receivers to get the ball, but you guys have 2 quality backs, Jamal Lewis being one of them, that can help this offense out.
Shannon Sharp gets the football for the first time, and certainly in talking with Trent Dilfer the other day, they want him to get the ball far more often and early. Darrell Williams spun him down.
And one of the areas you're going to get the ball to Shannon Sharp is he's on the late release right here, is ISOing on a defensive back in this situation. That kind of speaks to the talent that he has. Against a linebacker, that's one thing, but Darrell Williams is a guy that's got tremendous cover skills. Yet Shannon Sharp comes up with the catch.
Ravens first drive from their 6 after a possession drought of 58 without a touchdown. Dilfer with time, pass is incomplete. Looking for Priest Holmes coming out of the backfield. So we'll turn that possession chart into 59 for Billick's team without having scored a touchdown.
Takeo Spikes doing a great job of covering the back out of the backfield. And Priest Holmes is one of that pair of Raven running backs that's got fleet feet. Tremendous skill guy. So for Takeo to be able to cover him as well as he did speaks to his skill as well.
Kyle Richardson will boot it away. Greg Yeast back deep. Averaging just under 40 yards per punt is Richardson. High, tight spiraling punt. Yeast, who has sprinter speed. Out of Kentucky, one of those speed merchants that Tim Couch wants through too. A little extracurricular activity. A little bad blood between these two teams. Remember, Cincinnati felt that Baltimore had run it up on them in their last meeting. 53-yard punt, an 8-yard return. Bengals have it when we come back to Cincinnati. Tim Brando alongside Spencer Tillman here in Cincinnati. Bengals with their second possession of the afternoon. In a 0-0 game, they've won 2 consecutive, and Achilles Smith has had little to do offensively with those victories. He'd like to shred that today. Corey Dillon, the lone setback. Dillon gets it. Bounces outside, and McAllister comes up to pop him. See what some of the quarterback club members like Warren Moon, Rich Gannon, and Donovan McNabb had to say in their weekly diaries, only on NFL.com. Well, you're a computer whiz. I can't go anywhere on the road without you dialing up something.
Well, that's all right. I mean, information is there to be used, right?
Yeah, I'm still on the speed bump of the information highway. 2nd and 8. Billy Smith going to the out route. Finds his man. That's Yeast. For a first down to the 26-yard line. Dwayne Starks ushered him out. 3-year man out of Miami.
And Yeast does a fine job here. Achille does a quick job of looking away, but I'm telling you, he's eyeing that route. Nice little soft out. Now this play, they've been dropping this type of play. A high percentage out route, 12 to 14 yards, but they're doing fine this afternoon so far.
First and 10. Oh, misdirection to Curtis Keaton. Not a bad idea in the run game to, at times, use Corey Dillon as a decoy. That's an 8-yard pickup.
This is the type of play that's so exciting. When you have a defense that flows as well as the Ravens flow, what you want to do is get them going one direction and get great angles. Dwayne Starks there making a stop on the backside, but the key for this is you got to neutralize that with misdirection plays. So Dick LeBeau is doing a fine job of orchestrating and take advantage of these teams' strength and turn it into a weakness.
Especially wants to get his team in a second and short situation with Dillon. And on 2nd and 2, he appears to have the first down forward to the 38-yard line. The Ravens only allow 68.3 yards a game rushing. And today they've given up about 19 yards in the first 2 series of this game. And Peter Warrick, interestingly enough, and Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, you have to wonder when he'll get a head coaching opportunity in the NFL. One of the holdovers from Ted Marchibroda. He has done a tremendous job.
Yeah, he is a very talented guy. When you talk to people around the league, there are a core of about 4 or 5 guys right now who are set to be head coaches. He's certainly top among the list.
A bootleg action for Achille Smith. Running out of time and terrain. Manages to make the 40-yard line and beyond before stepping out of bounds. Pressured by Peter Boulware. And he steps out of bounds.
And that's one thing about this Raven defense. I mean, from time to time, plays are going to break down. The quarterback is going to get flushed out of the pocket because of the pressure of that front 4 that's so active, a tremendous group. And then outside, you're not going to get outside these guys. So the key for a quarterback is not to get discouraged through the course of the game. Achille Smith hadn't had a great deal of success of late. He can't get disappointed because of plays like that.
2nd and 8. McGee in motion, and Dillon gets it. Knocked down at the point of attack by Michael McCrary. No yards picked up that time. It'll be 3rd and 8. There's a feeling against Michael McCrary, an outstanding pass rusher, and even to some extent Rob Burnett. These are guys at defensive ends that run 270 and really 265. You can run right at them north and south. But, you know, sometimes they get a little help from the big plugs like Siragusa, Adams, and Lewis.
Exactly. When you've got linebackers that can flow as well as they can, hey, they're running a gap control defense. They're just asking those guys up front to find a place and step in that void. We'll let our other guys make fires.
3rd and 8. East has it. Manages to hold on. Could not get away from Rod Woodson, the all-pro of 14 years. A nice conversation with him the other day. When we met in Baltimore, I said, some of these young guys you bring along, are you tutoring them? He says, well, the only way you can tutor them is if you can still make plays. And fortunately, I can still make some.
He's been making them a long time. I played with Rod in the Hula Bowl back in 1986-87, and the guy was making plays then, and he's still commanding respect now.
Hope to punt it away. Jermaine Lewis back deep. Outstanding punt. He was struggling earlier in the year, Pope. Lewis at the 14. Very quick. Right up the gap, past the 30 to the 32-yard line. He has 4 career touchdowns as punt returner. 41-yard punt, a 17-yard return right there. Late in the first quarter, Tim Brando alongside Spencer Tillman, Cincinnati and Baltimore. 0-0 from the 32-yard line. Jamal Lewis pops outside. and uses that outstanding speed and gets into Cincinnati territory at the 47-yard line. A 20-yard gain. Rodney Heath takes him down. Well, we're tracing some history here, dubious though it may be. Indianapolis, 21 quarters. That was back in the 91 season. And they could tie this record if they don't score in this quarter. And they may only touch the ball one more time after this.
It's been tough sledding. I was speaking to Shannon Sharp, and he said it's tough, Spence, to come off the field and look our defense in the face because we can't get the ball in the end zone.
Well, they're doing a little something that you suggested. For an NFL update, let's go back to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Timmy, listen to this start for the Dolphins. Lamar Smith up the middle, 46 yards for a touchdown. They then tried an onside kick, recovered it, and it led to another Smith touchdown from 8 yards out. 14-0 Miami at the start. Let's go back to Timmy B and Spencer.
All right, Jim, but you know Wannstedt's got to be wary. He's had big leads before.
Question, what do you mean?
Lewis inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Darrell Williams wraps him up. And they're giving a steady diet of Jamal Lewis between the tackles. Whether he stays inside or pops outside, he is effective.
They're doing it on the ISO play right here. Again, soft, flow back, wide open. Really no one right there in front of him. He does a tremendous job. 6 carries, 61 yards so far. I say that's pretty good.
1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. This is an offense early on that's more reflective of the one Dilfer had in Tampa than the one he's supposed to be running in Baltimore. Priest Holmes inside the 25.
And Timmy, you know, this is the type of offense I think that Billick should understand. Hey, just because I've got a great wide open offensive scheme, I've got a heck of a running back. I've got another guy that's not bad either in Priest Holmes. Jamal Lewis, that's a 1-2 punch that's pretty potent. So, hey, let that offensive scheme play its role, but take advantage of what's there before you.
Patrick Johnson, Kadri Ismail of the wide receivers. Look at the rushing yards. 64 for Baltimore, 61 of them belonging to Jamal Lewis. Set up the screen. Stayed in the air for Priest Holmes. And a marker down. First to make contact was Adrian Ross, the linebacker. And then some help was on the way from the safety, free safety, Darrell Williams. This one will come back.
Pass interference, 82, offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Let's take a look at the interference.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp is going to get called for pass interference here. He's running a nice little out route, but he gets the hands up in the face of Tom Carter there. That's the problem. You can't do that downfield. You can't do it any place. Keep those hands inside and below that headgear.
There's Shannon. You know, when you've got tight ends that can get down the field and you're throwing between the hashes, that's a little different look than throwing screens to Allstott. And that's what Dilfer had been doing. He's hanging on to it a little long here. Excellent coverage by Cincinnati, and they finally force him out of bounds. Takeo Spikes does the job. That is outstanding coverage by the Bengals, but yet a 7-yard pickup for Dilfer on the scramble.
Well, Patrick Johnson is right here on the release on the nice out route. He's wide open. Dilfer's been flushed the other direction and doesn't really see him. This is not a bad job because, again, you pointed out in Tampa's offense that he was in formally. It was always turning around, handing it off to the running back and maybe dinking it out a little out route. He never had to sit in the pocket that long. It was not a requisite of that offense. But here, he's going to have to be a little bit more patient. He showed it that time.
3rd down and 8. Pressure. And the pass is caught. And on second effort, Jermaine Lewis believes he may be close to the 1st down. I think the Bengals felt they had touched Jermaine. He got back up and picked up an extra couple of yards.
Well, he did a fine job of just not taking it for granted that he was down. You know, a lot of times guys make that mistake even at the professional level.
Artrell Hawkins is steamed over this. He can't believe it.
You know, as Dick LeBeau looks on, what you're seeing here is another example of two things. First of all, the receiver not taking for granted that he's down, does a great job against man coverage, works to the outside, comes back to the ball, which is great, and picks it back up. Hey, that's just a head smart play. That's all.
They mark it at the 20-yard line, 4th down and a long one, maybe 2. And Stover in to try a 38-yarder. Well, I guess there is some good news about this kind of a touchdown drought. Matt Stover leads the league in scoring. 78 points for him this year. He's now scored the last 52 points for the Baltimore Ravens as they take a 3-0 lead. I was practicing all week long my field goal calls coming into the Baltimore game. Matt Stover is a candidate for MVP. He made a touchdown-saving tackle and has the first 3 points of the afternoon. This kick pretty deep to Mack, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Yards after contact and a late marker. He's down at the 28. The marker thrown at the 20-yard line. Another quality return from 2 yards deep in the end zone by Mack, likely to come back. Well, after that field goal by Baltimore, that now means 60 possessions this touchdown drought.
Holding on the return team, number 88, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Steve Bush, the reserve tight end, the guilty party. Ryan Billick's team up by 3. He's accustomed to that early. We'll be back. After a 7-play, 48-yard drive, 5 rushing plays, only 1 pass, a field goal for Baltimore. Now Cincinnati, after the penalty, backed up inside their 10-yard line to open this series. And it's Corey Dillon. There's that stiff arm. I mean, he brings back memories, doesn't he, of Jim Brown when he does that, and he talked to us about it. He said that guys like Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Sweetness, all figure into the equation of this running style.
And, you know, the thing I think is most impressive about it as he comes in and bounces that out, look at the guy. It's Ray Lewis, who he's pounding on, trying to chase him en route there. Great stiff arm. He talked about several guys. Tony Dorsett, Eric Dickerson, Jim Brown, but the guy he pointed out the most that he would like to emulate, that would be Jim Brown.
Yep.
Jim Brown.
All right, it's over.
Up ahead to about the 19-yard line, Jamie Sharper makes the stop here. Next Saturday on the Home Depot College Football, it's conference punch time. Derek Watson leads Lou Holtz's resurgent South Carolina Gamecocks into the swamp to battle Jabbar Gaffney and the Gators. And you know what, Spencer? It all starts with the college football today. You and I will be on hand, and we'll have a special conversation with Lou Holtz, a former colleague of ours at CBS. The Volkswagen College Football today at 3 Eastern. 3rd down and a yard to go. That's just power running by Brandon Bennett.
Okay, it's over, it's over.
Finally thrown to the turf. Strong run there. This is a very emotional Cincinnati team. Their offensive line is pumped. It's obvious that more than lip service is being paid to the running game, and that even helps the likes of Brandon Bennett.
Well, they're sticking with it, but there's been tough yardage. I mean, if you go back and you look at Dillon, in 7 career games against this Ravens bunch, he's averaged only 46 yards a game. In 36 other career starts, Dillon averages 93 yards a game. So this Raven bunch certainly has his number.
1st and 10. Markers down. So prior to the snap. And we'll check the flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, 82, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Tony McGee, the guilty party. You know, in talking with Achilles Smith as we did here on Friday, you know, he said to us, it's amazing. You know, I've never heard this much frankness from any young quarterback. Look at that. He says, I know what the stats are. I'm last. I'm the worst quarterback in the National Football League. But I'm going to do something about it. I'm excited about the chance to improve on that.
And that's atypical for a guy that's so young like him to have that attitude.
Ball is on the ground. On the exchange, Sam Adams came through to wreak havoc. And that put the ball on the turf, and Baltimore's got it. Sam Adams made the contact, the recovery by Michael McCrary.
You know, this is basically what Cincinnati wants to be identified, but when you allow pressure, a guy to get on your quarterback so quickly, that's going to cause you major problems. Sam Adams does a tremendous job of breaking that line of scrimmage, getting in the hip pocket of the quarterback, Achilles Smith, Kelly really never had control of it once Sam Adams got his hands around it.
He didn't have time to hand the ball off.
Michael McCreary was all over that thing.
Adams, what an incredible acquisition he was. Former Seahawk. And now Baltimore with a chance to break the Schneid with 2 seconds left. If they can score on this play, it would only be 20 quarters that they've been without a touchdown. But they'll keep it on the ground. Lewis burrows ahead inside the 15 to the 14. That'll be the final play of the quarter. Spikes made the stop. The Ravens lead it over the Bengals 3-0. We'll return to Paul Brown Stadium right after this message. 3-0 Baltimore with the lead as we open the second quarter of play, and the TD-less streak rolls on. They're now tied all time. The last occurrence, the 91 Colts, 21 quarters without a touchdown. They're in the red zone now. 2nd and 8. Dilfer's pass tipped, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Adrian Ross tipped the ball. The middle linebacker, number 57, sometimes plays on the outside.
You know, a lot of times the linebackers are reading, reacting, but one of the things they're taught to do is once they see that quarterback zone in on his receiver, get those hands up in the air quickly. Fine job right there, tipping the ball. You know, this happens a lot of times, but the key is to be active. You got to pursue with aggressiveness, but you got to get those hands up in the air when it's time to make a difference.
3rd down and 8. The Ravens only 26% have they converted inside the red zone. Priest Holmes carries it down to the 10-yard line amidst a number of flags. And Cincinnati guilty here.
Timmy, you know, one of the things that compounds the Ravens' problem of scoring is once you get inside that 20, that red zone that people talk about, the field is compressed. And what that means is it's easier to defend. So scoring becomes even more.
Defense, 12 men on the field, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Well, that's the kind of mistake you just don't want to make halfway through the season. Touchdowns nevermore. Well, the Ravens having to live with this. They settle for field goals 52% of the time. That's a 78% red zone scoring rate. That's ugly. 3rd down and 3. Bengals have been penalized 4 times for 25 yards already. Flags down again. Preliminary indication is motion against Baltimore. You know, in talking with Brian Billick.
Ball start, 83, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
This is a guy that waited a long time for his head coaching opportunity and worked under some of the best influences in his life. Bill Walsh, Tom Landry, Dan Reeves, even Lavelle Edwards, the outgoing head coach at BYU. He spent so much time with Denny Green. Dennis Green, the most influential coach, and he said, look, I'm talking to my team and saying, look, I'm just going to hold up a mirror to them. Don't allow human nature's forces to make you feel negatively.
Yeah, he's talking about pointing fingers at one another.
Indeed. 3rd down and 8. Dilfer's pass is caught, and a touchdown. Ending the drought, Brandon Stokely. The 2nd-year man out of southwestern Louisiana ends the drought against the Bengals in the 2nd quarter. So after 21 quarters and some 60-plus possessions, the drought of touchdowns ends.
Yeah, the proverbial monkey comes off the back. It's just a simple little out route. Headed toward the end zone. The thing you got to do is just point toward there and get past Rodney Heath, trying to make the tackle, but a little bit too late.
Stover for the extra point, and Billick could tell that that kind of emotional response was quite genuine. Glad to have it behind him, and at long last, Stover with a point after as Dilfer gets that much-needed 6 for Baltimore. Ten to nothing our score. Baltimore at long last with a touchdown for head coach Brian Billick after the turnover caused by Sam Adams, recovered by Mike McCreary. Tremaine Mack is back deep, and this is a short boot. McCrary on the run at the 20. Down at the 30-yard line. And a little more verbiage after the fact. Cincinnati trails 10-0 to Baltimore. Back in a moment. Better than 60,000 on hand here in Cincinnati at the brand new plush Paul Brown Stadium. Baltimore Ravens with a 10-0 lead. And they have dominated this game with their defense. Their defense turning it over. Second in the league in that area. Defense against the rush, the best in the league, going up against arguably the best running back in this league the last 2 weeks, Corey Dillon. And another flag comes down as he goes down about a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. Michael McCrary made the stop. Corey's been held to just 18 yards of rushing. This is offsides against Baltimore. And this will help them out. 6 carries.
Offside, 99, defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
And McCrary anticipating the snap count. Offsides. Dillon averaging only 3 yards per carry today, so obviously Cincinnati's going to have to come up with a new wrinkle here if they hope to get more yards for Dillon later in the game.
Well, Corey Dillon is the team's workhorse, but Warwick is the team's game-breaker threat. He needs to start touching the ball at least 10 times a game beginning now to be good.
Smith's pass, and again, the confusion between he and the receivers continues. Craig Yeast was running a slant, and he threw an out route. After you vote on Tuesday, there's one place to turn. CBS News with Dan Rather, Mike Wallace, Ed Bradley, Leslie Stahl, and Bob Schieffer for complete campaign 2000 election night coverage. The experience you can trust. Tuesday on CBS.
And that last play is something they can ill afford to happen. The running game is not working, and clearly they're not communicating on the pass routes there. That's not encouraging.
Second down and 5. Dillon. He had a path. It closed quickly, but he does have the first down. Ray Lewis made the stop. Corey's the only starting running back in the American Football Conference with over a 5-yard per carry average. But against this defense, it's tough. 7 career games against Baltimore. He's only averaged 46 yards per game.
Well, the Bengals are averaging 44 carries the last 2 outings, and he's getting the bulk of them. The more he gets the ball, the stronger he gets.
Flag down again, and a quick hitter beyond midfield to the 48. There was some motion, and I think he didn't get set up at the line of scrimmage after the motion.
It looks like it was Tony McGee, the tight end, in motion on that last play, Timmy.
Illegal motion, 82, offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Right you are, sir.
So the problem here is we look at this, he never really got set. He's down in his positions. He never got down. He attempted to, but he never got set.
Lots of penalties today. Cincinnati has 5 for 30. Baltimore with 3 for 20 yards, and it's first down and 15 coming up. Dillon is out of the game. Set up the screen. Brandon Bennett's got it, and he forges ahead to the 45-yard line. Ray Lewis made the stop. He's still not talking, Ray Lewis, to the media for obvious reasons. It's been well documented, but he's still very much the leader since coming into this Baltimore organization with the likes of Pepper Johnson, Don Griffin. There was still no doubt he immediately became a vocal leader. Second down and 8. Dillon back in the game. Again, a miscommunication. Yeast looking as if it was going to be a slip screen of some sort. And Achilles Smith throwing a fade. And the pressure coming from Wad Woodson.
Yeah, Wad Woodson was coming down in that safety slot. That caused some problems. But here you see the push-off frustration is clearly on the face of the receivers of the Bengals. They cannot afford to have these types of miscommunications. That's a miscommunication, not just by the wideout who was being covered with press coverage, but by the quarterback as well.
That wasn't a slip screen, but certainly wasn't a fade route down the sideline. Smith swings it out to Bennett. And Bennett shy of midfield.
Boy, look at how those Ravens just close in there, right? Gang tackle.
James
Traps all over.
Fastest man in the NFL fastest man competition in 1995.
Now you watch as he gets this ball. Watch how many white shirts just emerge on him all of a sudden. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. You can't even see his uniform right now. Ravens everywhere.
Brandon Bennett in his second year out of South Carolina, being used as a pass receiver here. A high punt from Pope into the end zone for a touchback. A 50-yard boot for him. Baltimore will have it at their own 20-yard line when we come back. Cincinnati tries to figure out their problems offensively. Cincinnati Bengals, Achilles Smith, offensive coordinator Ken Anderson, former quarterback in a Super Bowl here in Cincinnati, chatting with him as the Ravens open up on 1st and 10.
It's over!
It's been Jamal Lewis that's gotten the best of the afternoon in terms of ground game. 8 carries, 67 yards for Jamal. Coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report, join Jim, Mike, and Craig for all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Chicago trying to pull an upset today. New Orleans, another outstanding defensive team, playing very well against San Francisco, out to a 2-touchdown lead. 2nd down and 5. Lewis. Oh, look at that. How about 8 yards after contact on that carry alone? Darrell Williams finally reels him in.
And, you know, this is what I'm really liking about what the Ravens should be doing more often than they are passing, despite what their scheme is. Why? Because on the isolation right here, you see an opportunity to come in. A lot of guys, when you've got a big back that can break tackles, keep his feet underneath him, and make positive yardage, that's good. And this helps the defensive out as well, Tim, because they're not on the field nearly as much. Possession-type ball is something that's going to help this Ravens offense.
1st and 10. Set up the screen for Lewis, and he's got a convoy. Close quickly. Ross, talk about some speed. Cincinnati's got some outstanding speed at the linebacking position. Adrian Ross and Darrell Williams converged. That play appeared to be one that could go for 15 or 20 yards.
It looked like, and a great job by Dill for having the patience. He sees pressure on him, and the thing about it is he sits there, lets that defense draw on him a little bit closer, gives his back an opportunity to make some guys miss him, because otherwise, if Dilfer doesn't sell this thing, Jamal Lewis doesn't have the opportunity to get plus yardage.
Now, you know, Takeo Spikes did a nice job of keeping Mike Flynn in front of him, not allowing that play to go very far. Adrian Ross made the play. Here's Lewis again. He's ahead to the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. A couple of yards shy of the 1st down. Knute Curtis made the tackle.
That was a great job of Dilfer again, and I think offensively what they're doing is great, because you run 2 plays back-to-back that looks almost like one another.
Adrian Ross is the injured Bengal. We'll check on him. 9:15 remaining in the 2nd. Bengals trail by 10. Baltimore leads it 10-0. Here's that injury that Ross incurred.
And Timmy, here's why they tell the guys to always keep their feet moving. When your feet's on the ground like that, you got to get a guy. Quadri Ismail comes in there. I'll tell you what, that got to hurt. The guy's both feet are playing.
3rd and short. Pass is juggled, but apparently caught at the 46-yard line by Quadri Ismail. Q, as Trent Dilfer lovingly refers to him, is another guy that they'd like to see get the ball a bit more often, along with Shannon Sharp.
Trent's doing a great job of coming back, and the thing about it, there's no mystery here. He's telegraphing the whole way, but that's okay, because again, it gives Quadri a chance to catch the ball, look it in, try to make something happen downfield. A big guy that's got some playmaking ability. They just got to find more ways, creative ways to get the ball to him.
Bill for 6 out of 9 for 45 yards, but Jamal Lewis is giving Cincinnati a little lesson in what they've used the last couple of weeks to be effective. That's first down runs of 4, 5 or more yards. Chris Carter making the tackle there at midfield. 82 yards rushing for Jamal Lewis.
Jamal's the type of back, if you call it, he'll haul it. The guy's strong, he's big, he's got great speed, he's a tremendous weapon back there in that Raven backfield.
Dilfer with time, looking deep. Patrick Johnson. Boy, he had slipped behind Tom Carter. Had a couple of steps on him. Ball's incomplete, and it'll be third down.
And that's part of the adjustment that he's going to have to make again. How often was he making that kind of throw at Tampa Bay? Not often. They didn't throw vertical. It was more lateral game with a big focus on the running game. So, again, we talked at the top of the show about him having to acclimate himself to Brian Billick's wide-open style. Throwing deep with touch is one of the requisite throws a quarterback has got to be able to make in this league, particularly in this offense.
Third down and 6. Comes a blitz, and the pass on the sidelines caught inside the 40 at the 38. Ismail again. 12-yard pickup and another first down for the Ravens.
You know, the thing I found really good about that play from the Ravens standpoint is how well that Raven front four picked up the scissor stunts. See the linebackers coming in there crossing. From an offensive lineman standpoint, that can be awful confusing, but they made something out of that mess and was able to protect their quarterback.
Ismail comes out. Brandon Stokely, who caught the touchdown pass to end the touchdown scoring drought for Baltimore, is flanked to the top of your screen. Reverse to Patrick Johnson. Stokely with a nice block. Springs him for more yardage. Inside the 20 to the 18. Tom Carter takes him out. That's a 19-yard gain. Boy, that was a well-conceived play. And how about the blocking of Brandon Stokely downfield, the other wide receiver?
And the thing you like about it from a receiver standpoint, if you get ISO'd, you get a linebacker chasing you one direction, well, you love to get him isolated up here. Tremendous job blocking downfield. It gives him a great opportunity. Rodney Heath, great job of blocking. And then he's just making a play there.
Heath took him out. Had a little help from Carter. Blitz from the linebacker coming. Jamal Lewis. Head for a yard, maybe 2. This is now an 11-play drive for Baltimore, and they are mixing in the pass along with the rush in this particular sequence.
That's what's going to make it more effective in offense. I mean, if you can keep people off balance, not be one-dimensional, and force a passing game onto a team that pretty much, I think, is a misfit. I think Brian Billick should be focusing more on it, but he's got balance working right now. That's got Cincinnati on their heels.
Now, you talked of Trent Dilfer in a very positive tone the other day when we visited with him, and now you're seeing some of that success for Trent. They're going for more here in Cincinnati. A beautiful autumn afternoon here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Adrian Ross, we're told, has a left ankle sprain. You can see it's tender as he heads into the locker room. Questionable that he'll return. Obviously, guys like Spearman, Curtis, Foley, and Spikes. Heel Spike doesn't even come out on nickel and dime coverage. He loves to play every down. Here's Dilfer for Sharp. Touchdown. $18 yards, and Trent had that one on a line to the man that he came into this game wanting to see catch it a few more times.
And you know, we talked about he's got to start looking for Shannon Sharp in areas where he hadn't had to before. The seam is one of them. Darrell Williams has got his back to this guy. That's the toughest place to be in terms of a coverage. When you've got your back to the quarterback and the receiver is eyeing that quarterback the whole way in, that's tough to cover, Tim.
Shannon just tied Ozzie Newsome for 6th place all-time for touchdowns by a tight end. 47 total. Old Skins Jerry Smith leads with 60 as Stover knocks that one through. Ozzie Newsome's got to be proud. A Hall of Famer and a vice president in charge of player personnel for the Baltimore Ravens currently.
Fine job again. Boy, I tell you what, you just start salivating, not just from a quarterback standpoint, tight end standpoint, but if you're Billick, you're saying he's got it, buddy. And Dilfer has got to be jacked about it. You betcha.
Great opportunity for Trent Dilfer, and he is rolling sevens right now. And Shannon all smiles and always talkative.
He's not one to talk about his success, is he?
Yeah, since, as they say, eyes wide open and the mouth is too, right? He enjoys the game as much as anyone. And, you know, Trent was very quick to point out in our conversations with him that Shannon Sharpe had gone out of his way, had been a consummate professional in trying to help Trent get comfortable and allow chemistry to happen. He says it's very difficult just in practice to develop chemistry. You really have to play in game situations.
Well, the thing about it, Sharpe has something to say. I mean, he's been part of success there in Denver with the back-to-back Super Bowls. He has something to say. Look at this guy's body. You don't get a body like that without spending a lot of time, dedication in the weight room, doing the things that are necessary. He's probably encouraging the players right now on the bench with him.
Up to the 29-yard line is Curtis Keaton. That's where Cincinnati will take over 1st and 10. Friday on CBS, the victim of the perfect murder is about to reveal her real killer from the grave. Don't miss an amazing episode of the season's highest-rated new drama, CSI: Crime Scene Investigators, after The Fugitive, Friday on CBS. First down 10 Cincinnati at their 30. Now down 17-0. This becomes an even bigger drive if they want to continue to run the football with Dillon. She's ahead to the 35-yard line. So much of the problem for Cincinnati is falling behind and having to disdain the ground game. Keith Washington made that stop. When you look at the last 4 possessions, not much to say about them.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3 and out, with exception of the one fumble, which isn't good either. Cincinnati, a ball control team these last 2 weeks in particular, all of a sudden can't do what they do best. They're in quite of a hole.
2nd and 5. Dillon again, this time trying to reverse the field. Nothing doing this time. Washington wraps him up well behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 25-yard line. And an air of predictability you can sense for Baltimore. They're just pinning their ears back.
Yeah, the thing about it is you can't allow this group, as well as they flow and as active as they are, to do this. They get penetration, spoil the play at the line of scrimmage as far as the blocking scheme was concerned. Tremendous job defensively of gang tackling. Tremendous job by that Raven front 4, as active as there is right now in the National Football League.
Dillon is down to 9 carries for just 21 yards after that 9-yard loss. Smith trying to step up, gets the pressure. Ball on the ground, recovered by Cincinnati. Mike Goff, the reserve, the right guard, starting right guard on top of it, and a course of boos for Achilles Smith to deal with. Not protecting the ball as he stepped up in the pocket.
Well, 2 things here. First of all, Killy is trying to read what's going on in the secondary. He's probably got a zone underneath coverage happening. Pulls it down because he doesn't like what he sees. And because of the speed, Peter Bulwer and the rest of that Raven front 4 all over him, knocking the ball loose.
Poles will punt it away. Nice punt to Jermaine Lewis, but he's got some room at the 21. And a 10-yard return up to the 31-yard line after a 52-yard boot. Coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report, join Jim, Mike, and Greg. They'll have all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. You know, earlier today, Spencer, on the NFL Today, they had a very interesting report from Armin Katay, and he spent some time with Bill Romanowski. I know a former teammate of yours. Much of what Shannon Sharpe has done offensively and in terms of getting himself in game shape is about Romo.
Yeah, those guys single-handedly was responsible for one company's success, and the head product helped them out a lot. And I tell you what, the thing about it is, when you start to focus in on getting your body the way it needs to be to take the punishment that these guys dish out week in and week out, you need to have that focus.
And Shannon's got it, and some outstanding speed that he's developed over a period of time at the tight end position. I guess the first guy you think of in terms of downfield catching the football at the tight end position is John Mackey. Kellen Winslow took it to another level, and I think Shannon Sharpe is the modern-day version.
Yeah, he's the durable modern-day version. I mean, this guy is the quintessential tight end. He can catch, he's big and strong, he can block, he can do it all.
2nd down and 7. Wide open, Jamal him. He's down inside the 25. Darrell Williams takes him down. And now the boos are really coming here in Cincinnati. 43 yards as he comes into your living room.
And you know, the thing about it is Dilfer gets the ball to him. Again, watch how they're getting the ball to their running backs. These are not high percentage type passes. Actually, it's a little swing route, so it is. But nice job of making the guy miss right there. Chris Carter missing the tackle here. Stiff arm does a great job, though. Does Jamal Lewis of making plus yardage, getting by one guy, making a miss in open field.
He had 3 catches last week for the Ravens. Now Priest Holmes. Hands up. Inside the 20, catapults to the 19. As the Ravens look for an important score before the end of the half. Well, Brian Billick's power of positive thinking, saying, hey guys, look, we may be the best 5-4 team ever in the National Football League. He knows the tools are there. And as he said during the week, I'm the same coach that was 5-1. We just happened to get into a little bit of a drought. Look at that turnaround in the red zone. Today, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Here's the late pressure. Dilfer gets away. Touchdown! Shannon Sharp. Wow. Michael Baiston had him wrapped up, and Dilfer used some strength and some maneuverability to find Shannon Sharp for another touchdown.
You know, one of the things that Dilfer talked about the other day was one of the 3 things a quarterback has got to have is aggression. You've got to be aggressive as a quarterback to stay alive back there. His aggression, his ability to recognize that there was more opportunity and stepped out of the tackle, which was a sure tackle, I think, if he's playing in a more conservative style of offense, because there's not that many receivers out there. Michael Baiston, I'll tell you, Trent Dilfer's looking like an all-pro quarterback right now.
Yeah, he is. Well, Shannon never stopped working to get free, and the ad-lib job by Dilfer allowed him the opportunity.
Well, he's coming one direction. Watch him recognize this is just a savvy guy. He's taught to go lateral across the field, trying to be held even, but he does a great job of working back across the field, knowing that his quarterback is headed in the same direction, and Dilfer's saying to himself, hey, look, that's cool, man. We're on the same page, brother.
Well, he said it's a 3-pronged attack, Trent Dilfer. Confidence, tempo, and aggression, and all 3 of those coming to the forefront to the touchdown tune of Shannon Sharp. No secrets here. He told us he was going to go to Shannon Sharp. He wanted to get him involved early, and he has done that, and how.
And you know, that type of play really lightens the team up, Tim, because it's not a design play. I mean, that's total improvisation on both guys' part. And it just, he's pointing to his heart right now. That tells you something about this guy. And he's certainly got to appreciate the improvisation by his tight end. Tremendous job by a couple of veteran-type guys that's given this team a spark in an area of the field where they have been really weak, especially the second half.
And an opportunity to expand your horizons as a quarterback, and that's what Dilfer's been able to do in Billick's offense.
You bet.
His kick is down to Tremaine Mack. He already has a 50-yard return to open this game, and again giving the Bengals quality field position just shy of the 40 with ample time to do something prior to the half. We're at the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati down by 24 to the resurgent Ravens. (24-0) Baltimore with the lead. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, and get live updates for each NFL game as it happens. Just click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com. A very important series for Dick LeBeau's team, just to get anything on the scoreboard, have something positive to hang on to during the intermission. Out of the shotgun, Achilles Smith at the 39-yard line of Cincinnati. Bennett in the game for Dillon, forges ahead to the 42. The obvious question here is, what in the world is Dick LeBeau going to do from an offensive standpoint to counterpunch this defense that won't allow Corey Dillon to put up the kind of numbers he has?
Well, he's a throwback. I tell you what he's going to do. He's going to run the ball, primarily because when you throw it, 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad, incomplete and interception. The completion is the one thing they haven't been doing much of, Tim.
And the problems, the miscommunication at the wide receiver position continue for Cincinnati. We're halfway through the season.
Yeah, that's another encouraging thing. If you're on the defensive side, you see these guys can't make anything happen offensively. And Dick LeBeau has got to be frustrated right now. But again, because he's a throwback, he's going to continue to stick with what got him here, and that's the run game.
You really do feel for Achilles Smith, a young quarterback that they're trying to bring in. He thought he was going to be working in an offense that was going to throw it around with Bruce Coslett. Now he has to deal with the pressure of 3rd and long after 2 running plays.
And his opportunities to have success getting less and less all the time, because as they continue to struggle, they're going to go to him occasionally, but not as much as they would in a wide open offense.
Pass is caught by Warren across the middle and into Baltimore territory. And the Bengals are in the hurry-up offense here. 1:30 and counting. Bennett wrapped up and taken down. Brandon Bennett inside the 45-yard line. Corey Harris, number 45, made the tackle. Yard line. Michael McCrary made the stop. At the 41-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Smith looking tenuous and finally lets it go. And Peter Boulware providing the pressure. And we've got a flag down. This should go against Cincinnati.
Pass interference, 81, offense, penalties decline, 4th down.
Ron Dugans. And that means it is 4th down, and you got to figure in this situation, Spencer, they've got to be thinking about maybe doing something here to keep this thing going, trying to get something positive on the scoreboard.
Well, the one thing I've noticed in this hurry-up offense since we started, there's been more impromptu than anything else. It has not been scripted. Achilles has had to come out of the pocket and try to improvise on the run. No play has gone as scripted so far. 1, 2, 3, 5-step drop, ball release. It hasn't happened for him.
On 4th down, short of the 1st down to McGee. And again, what a breakdown in the passing game. Corey Harris made the stop. How can you run a pattern that's short of the 1st down on 4th and 4?
And it compounds it because Corey Harris was so close. He just closes on him, on the receiver so quickly, he doesn't even have a chance to make something happen after the catch. That's a poor play selection, first of all, and then secondly, a tremendous job defensively by Harris.
And again, the boos continue for Achilles Smith in this Cincinnati offense.
Well, awareness is key for any receiver. Know where you have to go to get the 1st down. He's trying to run a shallow cross, but the receiver goes underneath, doesn't quite make a positive decision. If it's zone, he needs to sit it down in that gap. If he's going to go ahead and run the man route, continue on out so the quarterback can lay it out there so you can snag it.
Now, Tony McGee did not run 4 yards. Now Dilfer looking for more. Jermaine Lewis has it out to the 42, maybe the 43. That's where they'll mark it. Artrell Hawkins made the stop. And with 14 seconds left, Trent Dilfer still looking to add to the scoreboard total. 24-0 now. (24-0). 17 seconds now. They've added 3 seconds on the clock. Jermaine Lewis in the game at wide receiver. Here's Priest Holmes bouncing outside. And he's down at the 47-yard line. Oliver Gibson, number 99, made the stop. And it appears now the Ravens will take a timeout. I mean, they're in a position in the field they can take one look to the end zone.
Why not take a shot? I mean, you got 9 seconds left. Certainly Cincinnati hadn't given them any reason to not take a shot. They can't stop anybody. They can't get anything going offensively.
So 3rd down and 2 coming up, but that's not really significant. What is that with the ball at the 47-yard line, Baltimore can certainly go for the Hail Mary and try to pick up a cheapie going into the break.
Now here's the litmus test for this Cincinnati defense. As a matter of fact, for the whole team, because as the Ravens start to turn this score up, does it create a situation where they implode and start pointing fingers at one another?
Dilfer decides to take the short pass to Qadri Ismail, and with 3 seconds left, he's out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So time for one more. Robert Bean, number 49, made the stop. He's the rookie out of Mississippi State, a 5th-round draft pick. This is a very manageable attempt now to the end zone from 41 yards out. It's been all Baltimore. They got their first touchdown in the early moments of the 2nd quarter. After a turnover, Sam Adams caused it. Michael McCrary recovered it. Brandon Stokely caught the touchdown pass. And I believe now we have a challenge.
We are reviewing the ruling on the field.
We're under 2 minutes. The officials have the right for the review. It's interesting. Regular season to date on instant replay, there have been 119 reviews. That's up from 95 in week 8 a year ago.
Play, the ruling on the field stands. The pass is complete at the sideline. 1st down.
And Timmy, a lot of that is because they're being evaluated as well.
Well, that's right. And I think that because of the importance in the last 2 minutes, the big ticket portion of what replay is all about, in the last 2 minutes, they feel it's important to get it right. And it does take a little longer for those replays than maybe a challenge by a coach midway through the first half of the game. Dilfer will load up and go deep. Tipped into the air and knocked down. Everyone was back there. Tremaine Mack knocked it away. 24-0 Ravens at halftime. Coming up next, it's the NASDAQ.com halftime report. After this message and a word from your CBS stations.